I've made it no secret, but if you guys are new to the channel, I am autistic. I've been diagnosed with autism since the age of 11, and I've been dealing with it all my life, and really so, as soon as I became a teenager and grew to an adult, which I am now. And I know plenty of people in my audience who are actually autistic or on the spectrum as well. And I know plenty of them struggle with things in their day-to-day lives. And I know that a lot of people who are autistic actually don't know a lot about autism themselves. So I thought I would create this series. This series will be called Autism Analysis. In this series, I'm going to be watching a lot of autistic related videos, giving my 2 cents on them, trying to dissect them, and give my own personal thoughts, anecdotes, and experiences as a person who has been living with the condition for all of his life. And my ultimate end goal is to try and help people understand the condition a little more, so that hopefully in the future, they don't have to go through many of the struggles that I've had to go through. So today's video is on Make It Stop. Now, I've seen this video before, because unfortunately I did a recording of this video, but my microphone kept glitching, you know, playing that sound whenever it disconnects and trying to reconnect. So the whole audio was basically me talking, but having that background sound playing at the same time. And it was very annoying. So I'm hoping that eventually this video won't have that problem. And again, if I stammer, I'm doing this with no script, I'm speaking purely from the heart. And I know that this video will be jumping into a topic which definitely affects a lot of autistic people. It is a autistic sensory overload, or just a sensory overload. And this is going to be showing the struggles of it, how many events which seem small and minor to a bunch of people who are neurotypical — neurotypical is a term used to describe people who are not on the spectrum, by the way — can balloon and lead to an autistic person struggling. Let's full screen this video, not take up too much time, and let's get analysing.
Perfect. Come on then, have a great day. Thanks for keeping an eye on it.
And this is the young girl here who is autistic. And this is kind of another topic of contention. A lot of autistic people struggle in the sense that a lot of women don't get diagnosed for a very long time. It's really sad to see, because, you know, old research on autism and how to diagnose it was based on white men at the time, not women or other things of the sort. So we are still learning all about autism even to this day. I don't think we will ever fully get the condition figured out, because there are so many variables and the sort. But honestly, I'd like to keep it that way. But yeah, I like the discovery and exploring things. But back on topic, this is the girl in question we're going to be following, and I think it's very impactful to show a girl struggling with this, because you hear about autism a lot, and you know that it affects a lot of boys, but it affects women just as much, honestly sometimes a little worse. So it's good to show that it can affect both men and women. So we're going to follow this little girl and see, unfortunately, how this will affect her.
Off somewhere fun today?
And just right there, immediately, and we'll let her get on the bus.
Are you alright?
Something so small like that. Just, you know, a friendly bus driver saying, you know, you off somewhere fun today? And then he notices that her face is a little weird, because she's struggling what to say, because she struggles with people and interacting with them. He asks, are you okay? But she might take this as him saying, are you okay? Like, oh my god, you've got something wrong with you, something like that. But even not that, just the fact that this is a person she doesn't know. This could eventually be, like, there could be hundreds of scenarios playing through her head. This could be a person that could kidnap me. This could be a person that could drive me somewhere I don't know and take me away from my parents. This could be a person who could be very mean to me. You know, something that a lot of neurotypical people might see as a little silly, but to an autistic person going through that, it can be a massive struggle. And yeah, this will stick with her throughout the whole day, as we will see later on. But yeah, something so small can really affect an autistic person, and we're going to see how this video portrays it.
What gift have you got, Sam? Is it a calculator?
Also, I'd like to point out the focus on the eyes. The characters that will appear, or the actors I suppose, the actors who will appear in this video all stare dead on into the camera. And this is good to note, because a lot of autistic people really struggle with eye contact, and it can really stress them out and cause the sensory overload to happen quicker. So I really like how they emphasize the eyes. And yeah, this is all from this little girl's point of view, so we get to see everything. Well, yeah, again, even something so simple as somebody just leaning over asking a question, he's getting in her personal space, stuff like that. And this is basically just adding fuel to the fire, because she was already struggling with what the bus driver was saying.
Off somewhere fun today?
And right there, this is something to point out, and this is something very serious. This is words and stuff said by people repeating constantly. And this is something I deal with every single day. I can have a conversation with my parents, and then let's say 5 or 6 hours later in the day, their words can still be repeating every so often in my head. I can't get rid of the words, they will always stick with me. And eventually these will just pile and pile and pile and pile until eventually it's just going to be too much for her. And we're going to see that going forward.
Are you alright?
And right there, that's very subtle, but let's go back to that. What she's doing there is what's called stimming. She is rubbing her hands against her legs. Stimming is a term used for when people do something to try and cope with stress. You know, you see people who are neurotypical do it, you know, biting nails, biting the skin off of your fingers, you know, jittering your legs, stuff like that. Something so small, but this is basically an autistic person trying to calm themselves down. And it's basically, the best way to put it is, think of a fire. This person is on fire. All the things that's stressing them out throughout the day is burning them. And them stimming is them trying to put the fire out, you know, fan the fire away, so they can calm themselves down and come back to a level head. That's what stimming is. And you also see it, you know, rocking back and forth. Some things can be very small with stimming, some could be very noticeable, like flapping arms, waving hands. It could be kind of weird for a neurotypical person to see, but for an autistic person to see and deal with, it's basically like their lifeline between getting themselves to a level head or exploding in a sensory overload. And I think it's something important to know, and I'm glad that they show this.
Off somewhere fun today?
See what I mean about the words following them? And this guy following her is basically a visual representation for us to see that his words will stick with her. Even though he's probably already forgot about her, you know? He's probably just thinking, oh, these are just students, you know, let's drop them off, I got other people to pick up. He probably hasn't thought about the little girl all this time, but she's thinking about him constantly because, again, he's a stranger that she doesn't know, and he's inadvertently, accidentally, causing a little more stress for the girl, so she's going to cling to that stress, unfortunately, throughout the rest of the day. That's why he will appear, and spoiler alert, it's why other people who say things to this girl will reappear.
You alright?
What gift
Including the boy here.
to get Sam? Is it a calculator?
And let's go back and see the dog. See how the dog there is kind of leaning up,
Later.
barking and yapping. Something which most people would consider normal, you know dogs are. But for an autistic person, that loud sound, that loud barking, ringing throughout their ears, combine that with everything else going on in the day. You see how her eyes just go wide. This is her really struggling with everything. And then you have somebody else just pestering her, and you see how all the words down here all jumbled together. This is intentional, because a lot of the words that people say, and autistic people remember throughout the day, can jumble together and play at once, so you can hear 5 different things all at once, and this can really exacerbate and stress the person out.
Sorry, did he scare you?
And again, eye contact, staring directly at her. Again, this is a person the little girl doesn't know. She's trying to be nice and everything, but again, she doesn't know who she is, and that can cause more stress.
Is it a calculator?
And you can see all 3 people reflecting in the water. They're following her again.
What gift did you get? Is it a calculator?
And also, if you pay attention, I'll go back so you can hear it better, and I'll turn the volume up a little bit.
What gift did you get? Is it a calculator?
You see how all the sounds there are all playing at once? That's another sign that all the audio is coming together and really combining into one, and it kind of jumbles and messes with her head.
What are you doing? You trying to kill yourself? Are you blind?
And again, right there, This person being maybe a little bit more aggressive than he should have, with warning the girl to be careful. What he's trying to do, like he may think, is he's trying to help this girl and maybe be a little stern with her. Again, this is a person she doesn't know, being a little bit more aggressive with her. And combine that with everything else going on, you just see her face, the terror in it.
Have you seen this epic fail? What's that, Mom? Have you seen this epic fail?
Somewhere fun today. Are you all right?
And you see there how it's cutting back and forth. This is intentional, and we'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2. What it's doing there is it's showing that all the sounds are playing together in rapid succession, one after one after one after one after one. And she is stimming, she's desperately trying to calm herself down, because she knows if she goes into a sensory overload, she could accidentally humiliate herself because she needs to get rid of that excess stress, but she doesn't know how to do it, and the information is just coming too quick at her, and she doesn't know how to successfully deal with it. And again, even this person, something so small, not even full 2 sentences, he follows her throughout the day.
Is it a calculator? Sorry, did you say? I thought you were.
And you see, even there, and let's go back again, sorry. All the people are now surrounding her, every person that she's seen today, all gather around her, and this is again all the words replaying through her head.
We're out of nuggets. Do you want to see the special?
And as that woman says there, we're out of nuggles? We're out of nuggets, do you want to see the specials? Again, this woman is probably seeing herself trying to be, you know, standard to the book, just straight on business, you know, we're out of this type of food, do you want to see something else? Something so small for a neurotypical person. They could see this and be like, oh, okay, I might try something else on the menu. But for an autistic person, this is probably all they really come to eat in this place. So seeing the one food that they find comforting, the one food that they know they can eat, they're out of it. This can add more stress to this person because it's going to be a whole new menu that they don't know. It could be a lot of foods that smell bad, taste bad, the texture of the food could be bad, etc. And she has to chance it or go home hungry. Combine that with everything else she's been through in this day, you can really see how this will amount, and unfortunately, cause this young girl so much stress. And the ringing sounds, the sound of ringing in the ears, all the noise can be that much loud, can be so loud, and it really does feel like it's ringing in your ears. And again, I've been through this, I've been through sensory overloads, and they are all almost like this. But again, remember, every single autistic person is different, so not every autistic person is going to have the same experience as this little girl here, but it's kind of a good baseline as what to expect.
Are you okay?
And you see here, this woman is concerned, genuinely. And you see what she's doing there, let's go back and catch that again, the autistic girl.
Are you okay?
She's swinging her legs. You see her.
How can I help?
Again, she is rocking a little up and down, and she's breathing heavily. She's really stressing now. And just one more bit of stress and she could possibly scream because she wants to get rid of that excess stress, but she doesn't know how. And as the video will end with, let's take a listen.
I'm autistic, and sometimes I get too much information.
That's true. And that's what a sensory overload is. Too much information, too much new things, too much sound all at once, and they can't process it how a neurotypical person would. And that's why it's important to take a minute and give an autistic person more time to process information. You know, give them time. Go at it at their own pace. Give them information in their own time. Slow things down, you know, one step at a time. It may seem so small, but it will go a long way in helping them. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope this may have taught you a thing or two about autism, and maybe if you are autistic yourself, you can relate a little with what I say. Because again, that's ultimately my goal, is to help people who are autistic. So this is a pretty accurate representation of what a sensory overload is. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to let me know your experiences with autism if you feel comfortable in the comments section, because I wouldn't mind giving some of my experiences as well. I'm an open and accepting community for those who are autistic, so do not be shy to share your experiences. But yeah, I will see you in the next video, and if you want me to, be sure to link some autistic videos of your own, and I will dissect them. But I'll talk to you later. Take care, everybody.